we have very dynamic personality amongst us, physics expert Shri T.A. Gangadharan. He is director of EduTech coaching classes and retired flight engineer in Indian Navy. Today, he will guide us on STEM education and career planning.
Okay. So, Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Deva Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. I seek the blessings of all my Guru for conducting this seminar. Welcome to all of you, and this is my small introduction as T.A. Gangadharan. I'm a retired flight engineer, retired from Indian Navy. About 15 years back, I have about 28 years of teaching experience in physics and chemistry. I'm qualified to conduct psychometric testing. I'm practitioner in diploma in clinical hypnosis and neuro-linguistic programming technician. Okay, now, yeah. So if all of you can hear me, first of all, today I believe that many of you are in the new state, right? Like what is being presented here right now as confused state of mind, which most of you are in right now, is whether to become an engineer, whether to become a doctor, do MBA, or join commerce. What is to be done exactly? Right? So, in the present state of affairs, hello, can you all hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. So, in the present state of affairs, right now, what is there, as you know, that the COVID pandemic is on, and a lot of people are losing their jobs. Most parents are worried as to what will be their child's future as you proceed. So, a large number of people are in the impression that we should take advice from your neighbors. Some people take advice from their own classmates, and a lot of stuff going on like that. So how do we tackle this issue of looking for the right career, right? So that is what we are going to discuss in today's session, which we will be having for the next 1 hour. Now, most of you must be having some doubts in your minds, which I would like to first of all address those. What is it that many of you must be going through? If I get good marks in 10th standard, I should take science. If it is something below 70%, then I should take commerce. If it is below 50%, then I should take arts. So this is the general trend, and beyond this, there is no thought process. So somebody like 50% taking science would be kind of, people would think that he is foolish. How will he be able to cope up with science? And I had one of my students in my teaching experience who was 95% and wanted to go for hotel management. People used to laugh at her all the while, right? She was a science student till 12th standard, and later on she decided to join hotel management. Her twin sister, who was a twin sister of hers, of same age, same class, and I was teaching them also, her also, and she had decided to join fashion design. People around them were actually laughing at them. Many of the teachers even were trying to motivate them to take something like medicine or engineering. But they were very adamant. 9th standard, I asked them, what do you want? One sister said, I want to do hotel management. The other one said, I want to do fashion design. In 10th standard, I asked them, they said the same thing. 11th standard, I asked them the same question, they gave me the same answer. Believe me, at the end of 12th standard, they gave me the same answer. that they wanted to do hotel management. But after the 12th standard, I lost contact with them and I met them after about 8 to 10 years later. One day I met the elder one, rather just she was ours elder, and she told me that, sir, you remember me, I was your student. I told, yeah, you are the same student who wanted to do hotel management. What are you doing right now? She said, I am an executive chef at Taj Continental. Now, just imagine that. What is the kind of salary she would be earning at that time? And she said me that she was in Goa because she gave her resignation. I told her, you gone mad? You got such a fantastic job in such a beautiful place and you have resigned? She said, no sir, I'll get a better job than this. I said, have you applied for a job? She said, no, I have decided to join a job only when they will invite me. Can you imagine that sentence? I will join the job only when they invite me. Which means she is not going to apply for a job. She is expecting people to come and invite her. And believe me, she got it. So that is a kind of confidence which you have to develop, and that will happen only when you are prepared to work hard towards it. Now, a very interesting thing which I would like to tell you is this statement, right, which you are seeing right now on the screen. 2/3 of the children of today, that means 2/3 of you people who are listening to me right now, will not be doing the jobs in the careers, or rather you will be doing the jobs in the careers which do not exist today. That means today, whatever jobs, whatever careers are available today, right, whatever careers are available today, those will become redundant or will become useless by the time you leave your college. Last meeting, I had discussed one very interesting episode. Now, today, people are running behind becoming a chartered accountant or doing their commerce or doing their arts or becoming a lawyer or whatever. Now just imagine, 5 years you will take, or rather 2 years you will take to complete your 12th standard. You will take another 5 years to complete your graduation. 7 years from now, where the world is going to be, nobody has any idea. Nobody has any idea 7 years from now what the world is going to look like. And if you can just imagine this, just 5 months back in the month of November, nobody had any idea what the world is going to look like today. There are a lot of astrologers, lots of scientists, lot of statisticians, they said many things. But today all those things have fallen flat. Nobody has any experience of dealing with the present situation. How can you predict what will happen 7 years from now? So then, is a career which you choose today, is something which you choose today going to be relevant 7 years from now? By the time you finish your graduation or maybe post-graduation. But does that mean that we just leave everything to destiny and forget about everything else? No, that's also not correct. So then how do we go about deciding a career for ourselves? Because it is rightly said, unless and until you plan, you will get into trouble. Or rather, in simple words, if you fail to plan, you're planning to fail. But the question is, what do I plan for? What do I plan for? And how do I plan? You can plan for something which you have some amount of certainty about. You can plan for something for which you can be sure to some extent. For example, let me just tell you one thing. You will need a telephone to communicate, or you will need a means of communication. Today, It was required yesterday and it will be required 10 years from now. Whether your phone will look like this or not is a different story. But human beings will need to communicate. That is a fact. So, communication is the essential part. How you will change, the devices will change, but the requirement will not change. That is important. So that's just an example. Second, you will need to move from place A to place B. Once upon a time there was a cycle, then there was electric locomotive, then there is maglev trains, there are bullet trains. But mode of transportation might change, but the word transportation will be there. So every field which you can think about, there is going to be something which is very core to it, which will not change. Human need to make life more easier and simpler will keep existing. So you need to find out something in that whole arena which you would be interested in. So let us try and see what are the possibilities. Now I want you to see this one beautiful picture, right? This is a fantastic picture, and if you can all see the screen right now, I wish you can. Yeah, the picture what you're seeing on the screen right now, it says dream the future. I want you to look at this picture very carefully. In this picture, there is a kid who is looking into the future. He wants to be an astronaut. See what he has of cardboard boxes. He has made a box which resembles the helmet of. Now this boy, if he keeps this in his mind forever, there is no reason he will not be able to achieve his goals. This is a dream which he has got in his mind. What is the dream that each one of you have? What is it that you would like to do in the future? As Dr. Narayan Murthy, the owner of Infosys, he puts it very correctly. He said, whatever you do, just keep one thing in mind, and that is that how can you serve humanity? How can you serve humanity? So if there is something which you can do which will be useful to humanity, you can be a part of that bigger atmosphere in this world. Every child today just gives it a thought. How can I change the life of people around me for the better? How can I change people's lives today and for tomorrow? Now just ask yourself these questions. Around you, there are n number of problems. Look for them and you will be able to find it. I will give you a simple example of today a problem which is very, very prominent. What is that? That is, today's day you are having an issue of lot of people under quarantine. Lot of people are becoming COVID patients. They are being put into hospitals, into quarantine, into closed doors. Can you imagine how will they get their food? Can you think of a methodology whereby the food can be delivered to these people without affecting others? Each one of you today listening to me right now, think about one method by which you will be able to deliver food to those people without affecting other people around. Think about this. So if each one of you thinks in those lines, one problem, just one problem. There is a major issue going to come up now. There is a major issue going to come up now. The vaccination have to be distributed to millions of people around the country. Are we prepared for that? Do you have an idea? When I was talking like this to my students, one of them came up and told me, sir, what is the use of my telling I am just in 9th standard, I am in 10th standard, who is going to listen to me? You don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. You will get people to work for you. You just put up your ideas. Put it across to your teachers, put it across to your elders. If nothing is there, convince yourself that this idea will work. Think about it. As I proceed further, I will be talking to you about what is it that you can do. Now, one of the major things which the world over people are thinking, and somewhere in 2014-15, the President of America, he realized that this is a very important methodology which needs to be revolutionizing the education field. And what is that exactly? That is this concept, that is of STEM. What is that? Science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. So what does it involve? One, science, right? Science education is very, very important in today's world. How it is going to shape the second one is technology. The third one is engineering, and the fourth one is mathematics. So if we emphasize on these 4 points, right? Science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, right? If these are the fields which come together, now just imagine this. Around you, you are holding a mobile in your hand right now, or you're having a laptop in front of you. There is a tremendous amount of science involved in that. The electricity, the battery, the LEDs, the touch screen, a lot of science involved in it. Without the influence of engineering, that particular device would not have been manufactured. Just imagine the technology which was involved in mass production of that science which somebody thought about. And most importantly, all that science would not have been possible to exist without proofs. And for that proof, you need mathematics. So whatever you can think of today, whatever you can dream of today, is achievable tomorrow with the help of these 4 concepts. This has become a big point of discussion everywhere in the world. Rather, they have all already introduced it in their education system, right from the KG onwards, using science, technology, engineering, and mathematics in one big unit. It is the future, actually. Right now in India, we have not yet pushed this concept into our education system. Therefore, the students are still doing the rote learning. Interestingly, a lot of things what you study in school today may not be practically applicable in day-to-day life as you go ahead. But then, don't you study? Yes, you study. Now, I'll tell you one very interesting concept again. I'm right now doing a course from Harvard University on science and cooking. Now, this course, since the last one full week, when I was being taught, certain topics related to cooking. I was doing only mathematical calculations because all this time they were teaching us how to do the calculations of chemistry involved in food. That means for every gram of baking powder used in the making of a cake, how many moles of carbon dioxide is being given out? If that is the kind of carbon dioxide given out, then how much high the cake will rise? Interesting concept. Over the end of this chapter or this course, they are going to teach us about how actually you can cause a liquid to be inside a bubble. Very interesting thing. So there is science in it, there is technology involved, there is something like a little bit of mathematics involved, and fantastic thing. It is actually a best example of STEM education system. Now, what is it that you can get from the STEM education? What are the possible options which you have? Now, if you look at this picture right now, which I'm going to present, as you can see it, what are the possibilities? You could get about 37% of the people are found to prefer engineering as a STEM graduate. They would prefer to go for engineering. Some of them, 29%, prefer to go for natural and physical sciences. What are the other options? Food and wine scientist. Can you imagine that there is something called as gastrochemistry, molecular gastrochemistry. Molecular gastrochemistry. That is a scientific field involved with food. It is not simply cooking. Food and wine scientist, geologist and geophysicist, agriculture and forestry. Today in India, as I was talking last time to your chairman, I was talking to sir about what is a big problem with Indian farmers today. One of them is the onion. In Maharashtra, tons load of onion is being wasted year after year. Nobody has come up with a solution to preserve onions. That could save the farmers. Think about it. Is it possible for each one of you to contribute something towards that? There is an opportunity in the field of agriculture. You can be an agricultural scientist. How about educators and universities? Today's world, especially in India, the tendency is to believe that teaching is the last thing which somebody wants to do. But then if you are a STEM graduate, you have studied science, technology, engineering, you can teach in any of these universities and create more number of scientists in this world. How about engineers? There's tremendous demand for engineers in the future. Tremendous demand is going to be there for engineers. But which kind of engineers? That is very important. Next is software and application programmers. As you know that software programmers are there all over. A lot of them coming out. But how they are going to be affected, that I'll explain to you. Livestock and crop farmers. This is another very interesting thing. Right? Livestock farming. Because now just imagine, as I told you, that there is something which is going to exist forever. And that is human need for food, clothing and shelter. These three things are not going to change. Food requirements are going to increase year on year. Food requirements are going to increase year on year. So how is it that the necessity or the need of food going to be met? And that is possible only by scientists like you, those who are going to come out of the universities. each one of you should contribute towards that future development. Now, as we speak, there are other options as well which are available to you people once you have graduated from your school, that is, or colleges. First of all, you have, say for example, anthropologists, those who study about human behavior. Archaeologists, those who study about the past. Why is that essential? Because unless and until you know your past, you wouldn't be able to appreciate your present. Then there is this atmospheric and space scientists. This is another one example. But how much of it is actually taught to us in the schools? So therefore, it's a good idea to think about science as you proceed. So there is a lot of scope available in this field as well. Biochemical engineers. Biochemical engineering is a branch which is applicable in today's world like never before. I'll just give you a simple example of biochemistry involving chemical substances for biological purposes, or even biological species used in chemical. So I will give you a simple example where you will have a need for such kind of people. There is this Asian Paints which has come up with a type of paint, a special type of paint, which if you apply, the fungus will not come on the interiors. So this requires, fungus is a living organism. The paint is a chemical substance. How do you create a paint which does not allow fungus to grow on that? So you need to know where fungus grows and avoid such situations where the paint is applied. And this requires biochemical engineers. You study either bio or you study chemistry in today's world. But what about mixing these two together? Civil engineering. Requirement for bridges, tunnels, roads will always keep happening. There will be need for transportation, different forms, and there you need civil engineers. Electrical engineers. Electrical engineering. That is a branch which is again considered to be a core branch, which comes under engineering. Forensic science and technicians. These are the people, those who study DNAs. They are the people, those who investigate crimes, right, take evidences, right, and help police. Or maybe even forensic sciences even allows us to study about a lot of other aspects, such as when a particular animal or organism had died or existed, etc. Geoscientists. Now, geoscientists are in tremendous need. I'll just give you a simple example of this type, especially in the state of Goa. Now, water is going to be a scarce resource in the future. Saving water will be a great necessity of the future. It is rightly said that future wars are going to be fought on water, right? For water, rather. And geoscientists are the people who can help locate places where enough water is there. And that's just one example that I'm giving you. Mechanical engineers has always been in need. A computer engineer can't do much unless and until that computer start working with something. And that way we call it as Internet of Things, IoT. Then you have software engineers. This is one very interesting thing. As I always tell, it's easy to learn a language, but very difficult to become a poet. A lot of software engineers are jobless mainly because of the fact that they have actually not got any idea about why did they do software engineering, right? Now, if you can imagine this, there are a large number of software engineers who are coming out of colleges every year. a small portion of them are becoming successful. What could be the reason for that? And the reason for that is essentially the fact that they have not had the idea of what they will do with the knowledge that they have, or why did they take this as the career. Right. Now listen carefully for the next 10 points. Ask yourself whether you have those skills. These are the 10 skills which the Economic Forum of India, of the world, World Economic Forum had declared for the year 2020 and beyond. There are 10 skills which is expected from tomorrow's educated people. What are those? The 10 skill sets needed for the 21st century are: 1 is complex problem solving skills. Complex problem solving skills. What do you understand by complex problem solving skills? Ask yourself a simple question. Now, suppose if you have to design a cycle, right? Today, I'm just giving you an example. Think about it sitting at home today. That if you want to make a cycle which will run on battery, okay, what all things will you need for that? How will you go about it? Right? You want to make a cycle which is running on battery. So now if you start the sequencing that whole story, that how will I develop a cycle which is running on battery, right? What all things do you need? You need to first find a battery, right? You need to know what is the load it is going to carry. You need to know how much time it should take the battery to charge. You should know the weight of the cycle, weight of the battery, n number of things. You should know the science behind working of the cycle. Can you design it in a different way? So you have science tech. I just gave you one small example. That's a complex problem. Those skills have to be developed. Ask yourself, do you have that problem solving skills? And how will you develop those problem solving skills? Now, I will give you a simple thing about how you choose your career versus rather how people have been choosing their career versus how it should be done. In the past, you choose your career because, number one, sir, I got 95% in 10 standard, so I want to become a doctor or I want to become an engineer. What doctor do you want to become? Sir, I have no idea. That Papa will tell me when I grow up. Okay, fine. You would like to do engineering? Yes, sir, I want to become a software engineer, but what software do you want to work on, sir? I have no idea. But then why do you want to be a software engineer, sir? Because my uncle is there in US and he's earning 10 lakh rupees a month, so I want to do that. This is how we chose our career. So when you come out of engineering college, the first question they give you is a problem to solve. What you got was a gold medal in your engineering college in programming language, because there was a program which you had to write. Today, you have a problem to solve. If you don't start studying for problem solving skills starting from your 9th standard, 10th standard, 11th and 12th, you will find it extremely difficult when you reach that level 7-8 years from now. So problem solving skills is very, very important in the future. The second very important skill which you should be having is critical thinking. Critical thinking. Now, what is critical thinking? Now, critical thinking, I will tell you, is the art of trying to find out better alternatives. Right now, we are making a presentation. I am speaking to you using Google Meet. There would be the YouTube, which is also broadcasting it at the same time. Sitting at your home, you might be having some idea that can it be done in a better way? Is there something wrong with what is happening right now? Do you think you can find out a better way of doing the same thing? Maybe you can suggest it to the college or to suggest it to me and tell me, sir, this is a better way of doing it than what you're doing it right now. That is critical thinking. That is critical thinking. Now, your mama is cooking or making puris in the house. Is there a better way of doing the same thing? Right? Can you make rice in a different way? Somebody thought about it. Somebody thought about it and developed a rice cooker. Interesting thing. So that was critical thinking skills, right? So what is existing today, try to go ahead and improve upon that is critical thinking skills. Creativity. Critical thinking of what was there existing today and try to improve upon that. Creativity is making something new. Something totally which does not exist today, that needs to be made. So to develop something new is creativity. As it is rightly said, creativity is not copying. So when you say you're creative or you want to be creative, it means you're not copying. The moment you copy, like for example, there is this Amazon, you started Flipkart in India. That is copying. Only change the name. That's not creativity. Right? You have Oyo in India, or you have Uber around the world. You have a corresponding thing in India. This is copying. It's not creativity. Creativity is coming out with something new which does not exist today. Right? Something totally different. That is creativity. So you create something in 9th standard, in 10th standard level, you can still be creative. So this is the skill which will be expected in the future. Fourth is people management. Why do you need people management skills in today's world? You need people management skills because you need to get people to work for you and to ensure that they fulfill your dreams for you. Coordinating with others, it comes as a part of people management. Coordinating with others, we should be able to work in others' company. Next is emotional intelligence. Very, very important point. Emotional intelligence. You should be able to decide when you should stop becoming emotional and when you should be emotional. Emotional intelligence is also very important when you start trying to empathize with people. Now you would find many of these skills are not matching with what you thought would be actually career guidance. What I'm trying to tell you is the career guidance of the future. What I'm talking to you is about 7 years from now. I'm not trying to copy what somebody said yesterday, that you have to become a doctor. If you have to become a doctor, where all you will get admissions, how many marks you need. I'm not bothered about all those things. I'm talking about what is going to happen 5 years from now, 7 years from now. The next one is judgment and decision making. This is another very important aspect, right? Judgment and decision making. I'll give you one simple example of decision making skill. One day, one of the parents came and told me, sir, my child is extremely hardworking. My child is very obedient. Whatever you say, my child is going to listen. You teach him as much as you can teach him, and I will ensure that he will get the marks. I told, fantastic, great child. You have such an obedient child. I'm so glad about it. But I asked them one question. I told them, suppose if you send your child to the market and all of you children should listen to this carefully. I send your child to the market, or you send your child to the market and tell to buy some vegetables. Let us say, send to the market to buy cauliflower. All right. A very obedient child would go to the market, go to the particular shop which mama has told, ask for the cauliflower, and the cauliflower is not available. He walks back home. Obedient child, nothing wrong with that child, absolutely fantastic. Ask yourself what you would do in that situation. I know many of you must be having this thing in your mind right now that you will pick up the phone and call mama and ask, Mama, क्या पे cauliflower यहाँ पे नहीं मिल रहा है, तो मैं क्या करूँ अभी? तो mama will tell you, बेटा cabbage खरीद के लेके आ जाओ. That's what is coming to your mind right now. Obedient child, very good, intelligent child, fantastic. I like that. Some of you might be thinking, sir, I will ask mama that can I buy the cauliflower from the another shop? Fantastic. But when I'm talking about all the characteristics which I just now explained to you, including your critical problem solving skills, your ability to be able to make judgment and decision making, before you started coming out of your house, you could have given it a thought. I'm talking about a big type of problem solving. What is that? Now, why does mama want cauliflower? Right? Asking mama at that time, critical thinking, Mama, can't you do without cauliflower? Can you manage with something else? She says, no, beta, we have a guest coming home. Okay, complex problem solving, critical thinking. Creativity. Mama, we don't have cauliflower at home. Can we make a new dish with just onions and tomatoes only? Creativity. Manage the people, the guest who is coming home. Have to convince them that you wanted to prepare something, but you have managed to do those because that was not available. People management. Coordinating with others in your surroundings, trying to get that cauliflower bought from the market from somebody else, your neighbor. Emotional intelligence. Don't get attached to that cauliflower alone. You have other options as well. Judgment and decision making. If you were in the market buying the cauliflower, by this time you already have an idea why your mother needs cauliflower. You will buy cabbage and go home without having to go back and ask for the details. What is the next? Service orientation. This is very, very important skill. Very, very important skill. And let me tell you this, that if you have this skill, and this is something which even elderly people should start thinking about. That is the service orientation. That everything that I do, we should be towards the service of somebody, service of humanity, service of the other human beings, service of the society, service of the country. If you have that at the background, it is a very, very essential skill for the future. Service orientation, very important. Then, the next important skill which you think you should be having in the 21st century is negotiation skills. Negotiation skills. That is to be able to discuss with people and come out with some conclusions. Negotiation skills. Because these are the skills which we have never been taught in our school life, and neither is it being taught in schools today. Sitting simply in the house right now, sir, where will I get this negotiating skills? I will give you a simple example. Now, mother is buying one chocolate for you, Cadbury's chocolate. Okay? And your sister or brother, younger sister or brother, wants half of it. You make half of it, but one becomes larger than the other. How do you convince your sister or brother that I'm going to keep the smaller one now, but tomorrow when another chocolate comes, you should give me that part which I have lost today. Negotiation. Just talking and discussing it out, negotiating skills. And one very important thing is cognitive flexibility. Very, very important thing. Being able to be flexible in your decisions. The ability to be able to ensure that you don't stick to your own guns all the time. Should be able to have the flexibility to adjust with people around you. Now just imagine this. Where do you learn this cognitive flexibility? This is a skill required for your future. It's skill required for your career development. Where do you develop it? You develop it in your house, now, here. What do you do? Mama says, today we are not going to buy so-and-so thing in the house. I'm not able to get a dress for you. So you have that flexibility, should be able to adjust with your family, adjust with your friends, adjust with your classmates, where you feel that you are not being given justice, but you are ready to be flexible, you are not adamant on certain things. These are skills which are required. When you go for an interview in future, this is what people will be looking for. Your certificates, your degrees are just only to allow you enter into that interview hall. Once you have understood what are the 10 skills, complex problem solving skills, you can gather critical thinking, creativity, people management, coordinating with others, emotional intelligence, judgment, decision making, service orientation, negotiation, and cognitive flexibility. Now here is a fantastic example. I just want to show you some very interesting thing. Okay, this is really a beautiful example. Tanmay Bakshi, in his 5th year, 5 years of age, he started coding. Nobody taught him coding. At 9 years, he made his first app for iOS, that is for Apple. At 12 years, he was youngest IBM Watson programmer in the world. And you know what his statement is? That is why I picked up this picture. I never knew people coded as a job. I thought it was just another toy to play with. You know, this boy is employed with IBM. This boy is employed with IBM. Right? At the age of 12, can you imagine that? Right? He started coding at a very young age. The point here which I want to make is not that everybody would become like him. Not essential, not essential. He did it in coding because he got the laptops and the computers and the environment for that purpose. But you should not try to copy him. Creativity is not copying. You are not to become anything like him because you cannot become him. He is unique. You are unique. You have got better abilities than what he has got. You are much bigger and much better than anybody else around you. You have the capability to do things. You just need to find out what is it that you want to do, what is it that interests you. One of my students, he told me, sir, I am not interested in all these studies and all those things. Okay, I am just interested in eating food. I told, fantastic, make that your career. Sir, what can I do? Should I become a chef or should I start a restaurant? I told you don't have to do both these. You will have chefs and restaurateurs working for you. What is that? I have tried this out, so I can tell you. I go on to restaurants whenever I go with my family. I used to, rather now it is not possible. But when I used to go to restaurants, I used to take photographs of the food and put it up on Google Map. If you go onto Google Map, you will find a lot of reviews written by me of the restaurants, hotels. So wherever I'm going, I'm in any case going to pay for the food that I'm having there. So why not put a review? What happened was I started getting more and more followers. A lot of people using this. Google found it interesting. Recently they sent me a gift. But more important than that, when I have certain number of people appreciating my reviews, when I go to a hotel and tell them I have so many people viewing my reviews, they will give me their dishes free of cost, because they want their reviews to written down. So I keep writing reviews, and once in a while get a free food. But if you make it a full-time profession, you get all your breakfast, lunch, dinner, staying. What more do you want? It's an interesting profession again, right? So, what is it that this is Tanmay Bakshi? I told you this is far away from India now. He is working in Japan and now somewhere else. But this is one part of the story. But somebody very close right now, possibly must be watching the YouTube right now, is this boy. This is Ronak Hede. Right? Ronak Hede. This boy is right here in Goa. He is in Panjim. He is speaking at the Goa College of Management here in 2015. Believe me, this boy is presently in 12th standard and he is my student. The two other pictures what you are seeing are his inventions. The stomper which is there is a robot which moves on two legs. I request each one of you to go to his website ronakhede.com and subscribe for that. It's a fantastic place to be motivated. He is right now just completed his 12th standard and the topper in his class. This boy has done a fantastic job. I am so fortunate for being his teacher. He has been my student for the last 2 years. Right? Now, this is right here, next doors. Just across in Panjim. He's from Sharda Mandir School. Right? So, what was so great about this boy? I asked him, what is it that you are up to? Long ago. And he says to me, sir, I have an aim to go to a particular college in US. When? In 10th standard. 9th standard. He decided the college which he wants to go to. He decided what he wanted to study. He understood in his life what was his goals and aims. 9th standard. And then he started working on that. Slowly, he started developing. Then he felt that he should tell the world about what he's doing. He started writing blogs. And now he has got his own blog site. Interesting thing. So can any one of you do that? Yes, they can. Every one of you can do it. You have the capability in yourself. You just need to have that one push. That's all. Right? So is it possible for each one of you to decide what is it that you want in life? Right? What is it that you like? So how do you create that atmosphere? The creative process starts with a thought process in your mind. Do a little bit of research about it. Give visions, ideas, inspiration, get from somewhere. Sit down and think with your classmates, with your elders, with your teachers. Do some amount of brainstorming. Design that thing, and the creative process goes on. All this is what is essentially required for the future. Start developing these skills today, now onwards. And what best opportunity then to be able to do it in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. These are fields which will help you. Unfortunately, in Indian system, we do not have a mix of all this, but you should be able to create a mix of all this. Like as I told you, I was looking in Harvard University website to check for some online course which I can do, where I can put both these interests of mine into one place. One interest in cooking and the other interest in chemistry. Right? Now, there might be a few questions which many of you must be thinking about, that, sir, but I'm not so very intelligent. can this career be for me? Is science good for me in case if I'm getting less marks in maths or science? Children, dear friends, let me tell you one thing. It is not about the marks that you get in your examinations. It's not about the marks that you get in your examinations. It's about the interest that you have. So there are three things which are very important which I want to put across to you. Number one, think about what is it that you want in life. You have a passion for yourself. You want to achieve something in life. What do you want to do? You want to serve the society. You want to serve the society. Which way can you do it? What is it that you can contribute towards the society? Decide that, point number one. Point number two, look around what is existing today. Do some critical thinking and find out how can you do it in a better way. Be creative in trying to analyze what is the possibilities. And most important point is that push your boundaries, push the limits. What you are today is not what you are. What you have today is not what you are. It is a result of what you did in the past. So if you want to be something in the future, you have to start right now. Do it today. And there is no better way of doing it than using these four basic concepts. And science, I believe today, because as I have always been telling, last time I told the same thing in the seminar last time, and that was that anything which is repetitive will be redundant. Anything which is repetitive will be wiped off. For example, a taxman, a chartered accountant who is filing returns, that job will slowly be taken over by software. It is already being done right now. So a lot of chartered accountants will become out of job in the next 10 years. Maybe a few advocates also might be. Those who are really good at their job, they may survive. But after 10 years, things will become computerized and people will be out of job. Then, what is the possibility? Everything which is repetitive. Imagine this, go to a hotel. A chicken biryani is being made every time to order. It is repeatable. Every time somebody is ordering it, the cook does the same thing. So it is repetitive. So in a few years' time, you will find a machine making biryanis. So let those jobs which are repetitive be done by machines. Something creative has to come out of us, human beings. And that is the way our brain is designed. Right? So it was nice talking to each one of you, and I believe that you understand the importance of the science and technology, mathematics. But sir, I am not good at maths, sir. You don't have to be good at maths. It's okay. You were not good earlier. You can be good now. You can always be better. Better than what you are today. Right? But your main goal, your vision should be very clear. You want to serve the society. That is what is required. And now by this time, you must have got a fairly good idea what the future is going to look like. I request all of you, right, start your preparation. Those who are 9th, those who are 10th. I'll tell you one very interesting, intelligent episode before I wind up. My son, I am teaching 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, all the classes. Science is my core subject. When my child was in 7th standard, my son was in 7th standard, he used to attend classes of 11th standard. Now, why did I do this? He used to come without books. He used to come without pencil or pen. He used to just sit in the class and listen. And whatever he understood, he used to give answers for that. But that went on for 2 years. What was the advantage of that? In 11th standard, he found all the subjects very simple for him. Similarly, I had a 9th standard student who was attending my classes of JEE mains of 11th standard. Today, he is in IIT Madras. And he still comes here and he talks to me and says me, sir, it was that day, 9th standard, when I used to attend your classes, that I actually understood most of the things. So therefore, those who are in 9th and 10th standard, start your preparation very early. Done? Very good. So it was a great pleasure talking to each one of you. It was very nice trying to tell you my feelings. I would always be glad to interact with you individually, personally, or through the school, either way, whichever way. You can always contact me, ask the school for my details, and they will be able to give it to you. So basically, start your preparations now. If you are looking for engineering, medical, whatever, start your preparations now. You can always do a foundation course in the 9th and 10th standard, starting your preparations of 11th and 12th. That will help you a lot. And any help required in that field, I'm always there for you, especially maths and science. You can always contact me. Please contact the school or the staff, get my details, and you can always mail me or write. It was great, nice talking to you all. Thank you all, Symbiosis School and the staff, the principal, for giving me this opportunity to speak to the students in Shiroda. I wish it was useful to you all. Thank you all very much.